I actually got like an offer on Instagram to donate or sell my eggs.
Whoa. And wait, what did you respond? Don't they do research before they reach out? Girl, I've been traumatized a lot with friends. I had friendships in the past where I considered like close friends and they literally backstab me. I also think it's our responsibility to like we can laugh as much because that's how most people are, I can imagine. But if we can just say what we actually mean without being scared how the other person's going to take it.
I think when we're angry at situations and stuff, we become frustrated overall.
Yeah. And I tend to give like silent second chances in my head.
Yeah, which is really bad.
That's not the greatest thing to do. It's better to just say right away.
Based on that quote, how much do you hate unwarranted advice?
It goes into my body. I cannot handle it.
I don't know what the right advice is.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have that responsibility of me of like telling you what to do with your life and your relationship. It's so funny. I love reading the comments.
On TikTok.
Yeah, they're so hilarious.
People are like very offended.
People get offended at like the most unexpected things as well.
You know, I feel like we should talk more.
Like something that we say that I think is not controversial at all.
What?
Like anything that we say that I think is like not controversial at all. Then it gets like these weird comments and I'm like,
and it's exact, and especially since
where is this coming from?
It's such a small part of the video also where
it really annoys me.
And people don't think like maybe there's something before the video and after. Just watch the whole episode. And
no, they judge a 20-second clip. And this is not just for us in the podcast.
No.
I mean, in general, they take a 20-second clip and they make an assumption about that person's whole personality, whole life, whole way of thinking. And like more times then, you know, like usually there's a bit more context to it.
But have you also not like fall into the trap? For example, do you remember those Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber videos where they were like pinpointing that he was a very...
You know what the difference is though? Have you ever sitting down, watched TikTok and saw something that you disagree with or whatever and written like a really mean, hateful comment?
Of course not.
Or even when you strongly disagree with something, will you sit there and sit and judge?
No, but that's the part like I don't understand.
I've never written a negative comment.
Yeah.
And I've like the Selena Justin drama. Yeah. I mean, I found it very entertaining.
Yeah, you know, I also believe some of stuff because it was
so
good edited.
But I'm not gonna sit and comment and be like, no, I'm with Hailey. No, I'm with
Team
Selena.
Hailey,
no,
Team Selena.
And even though maybe I prefer one woman over the other for him, I'm not gonna sit and judge. Man, he knows who he wants to marry. He knows what he wants.
Yeah, like we don't know the relationship to sit there and like,
guys, do you not have like a personal life? Why is it like your whole energy consumed in someone else's relationship? That is so sad and disturbing.
Yeah. I think good morning, everyone.
Anyway, that was not supposed to be part of the episode, but maybe we can stick it in.
Yeah.
This was us having a warm-up chat off air. But
you look sorry, but to interrupt you, you look very good today. I mean, you look good any other day too, but your makeup, girl, is on point.
Thank you.
And your
Rafaelina did my makeup and my Isaias did my hair. I had a shoot before I came. A little bridal little thing.
It looks very beautiful.
And I came straight to the studio. I didn't have time. I kind of removed some of the glitters. Sorry, Rafaelina.
No, but it looks very pretty.
Yeah.
You look very pretty.
I dimmed it down a little bit. Sorry, babes. But
you should have kept the sparkles maybe.
So I didn't want to be super glam.
So I could see it. And in another episode, I could be also sparkles. So we can be two sparkly princesses.
Oh my God. We should come proper dressed up one day.
Yeah, because why not?
Just for fun.
Yeah, just why not? So we can take nice pictures after and videos.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there is actually a video I want us to take. And you need to remind me once we finish with this episode. Have you seen the trend like, where have you been? Where nobody knows me. You haven't seen it?
Nobody knows
that we're gonna do like our own
do.
music video.
Oh, the twin one.
I'm not sure if.
Where have you been, twin? Nobody knows me.
Yeah, exactly. I want us to record that video now once we finish with this episode.
Oh God.
That'll be fun. Okay. Hello, welcome to another episode
of Ice Latte Girls.
With Olivia Constantinides.
Oh yeah, we have to say our own names. And Maria Gojkovicc.
Back in the studio here. So what are we going to talk about today?
my God, I got really confused. Oh, before we get into the episode, well, we kind of already did. That was a random rant pre-episode.
Yeah.
I want to give a little update to our listeners.
Oh, yes, I know what. Okay. I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
So the OG listeners that are actually, you know, tuning in every episode, and I see you guys. I love you guys.
Yeah.
They may remember I mentioned a friend dating a guy that going on a few dates with a guy casually who 1 week into knowing her said, I love you.
Ooh, the one that was very
The one that we were
early
saying what an ick that is. They're in a 2-month relationship.
They are actually, wait. So many questions now.
They're madly in love.
Wait, did they actually, when he said, I love you, did they continue the relationship?
They weren't even in a relationship.
They weren't, but I mean.
They were dating.
So they continued the dating part after that. And now they're in a relationship officially.
Yeah.
Insane.
Like madly in love.
Whoa. That's so cute though. Give us some more information, please. I
mean, what else? I can't give too much information.
I know, obviously, but like
it's just really funny how we said something that's an ick turned out to be like a huge romance.
And that's a good reminder that just because something is an ick for me or for you, it doesn't mean it's for everyone else.
It wasn't a bigger ick for her than it was for me. I found it kind of cute, but she found it an ick. But
okay,
here we are.
Yeah, we are hypocritical, all of us, the whole time. Me also.
No, it's just, it goes to show that, you know, sometimes you may think you don't like certain things and then, you know, I think when you judge from the outside, a relationship, a dynamic, a behavior, and then when you experience it yourself, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it is. Because also the episode that was released a few weeks ago, when you read up the messages between me and Ramon, and he said like, oh, you sound like the perfect girlfriend. That for me was an ick, you know? But apparently, I mean, it worked.
Yeah,
so it really depends
go.
on the person. Like if he wanted to, he would. It's also annoying if you like the person.
And also you don't really know how you're going to feel about certain things based on theory. Theory is really hard to like, I don't know, like judging a scenario when you use simply your logic is really different to when unpredictable emotions get involved in the mix.
But man, that's a really nice update. I'm glad that it worked out for them. I mean,
know, right?
Madly in love. Have you spoken to her also about it? Like how do you feel now that you said it was an ick? That he said,
oh, now it's funny. So now we laugh about it, but it was very unpredictable.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I also have a little update that I forgot to mention actually in the previous episode. In the OG Bestie episode, where we're talking about different kind of best friends, close friends, I said that Marinos is my best friend, but I was not sure if he was mine too. And I actually asked him, you know, I told him, Marinos, we talked about this and this in the podcast, and I said that you are my OG.
Is he not listening?
No, he's...
Marino, shame on you.
I know.
You should be listening religiously to every episode while you like make sweets. You
in
listen
his
to
own
us.
defense from me, who's being very loyal, supportive, he's extremely busy. So if he would be listening, I would be like, what? Are you okay? You know, like a little bit like that. But he said that I'm also his OG bestie.
Whoa.
Yes. Isn't that cute? Of course, he didn't say it right away. I have to like a little bit explain what it meant so he could answer the question the way I wanted to. But I'm still the OG bestie. So yeah, that was my
That
update.
is a big thing from your older uncle.
Yeah, older. I mean, he's 7 years older, just not forget. But yeah, it is a good update.
I'm actually 7 years older than my brother, my younger brother.
Oh, crazy. Yeah,
we have the same age gap as you have with your uncle.
So you could, yeah, exactly. I was going to say you could have been his auntie, but it makes more sense that Marinos could be my brother, to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, you have more of an age gap with some of your younger siblings than you do with Marino.
My youngest one, we have 21 years difference.
That's wild.
I think he could have been my
Could have been your baby.
Honestly, yeah, it's so weird.
Oh my God, imagine you with a baby right now.
Oh my God, Maria, don't put in stress. Speaking
Let's talk about,
well, the reach out I got.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, there's a word I'm starting to say because of you.
What?
Bless.
Oh, nice.
I never said it before, but now I'm starting to say bless. Well, even bless her, bless.
That's what I say. Yeah, I'm like, bless.
Yeah. So I got reached out on Instagram about from a company or product wanted me to do a collaboration with them. And you obviously already know, but it was for fertility pills. And I'm like, do you know me at all?
Do you follow me? Have you seen my content?
Do you have seen my, have you done your research before reaching out to me? Because I don't even know if I want to have kids in the future. And if I even said that to them. I said, at this moment, I'm not necessarily sure if I even want to have kids, but if I change my mind in the future, and yeah, maybe, but that's funny, because you would wonder that, before they reach out to influencers, they do a little bit of
Yeah, they do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
I actually got a collaboration offer ages ago to sell my eggs.
Whoa.
Not a collaboration offer, like an offer on Instagram.
Okay.
To donate or sell my eggs.
Whoa. And wait, what did you respond?
Well, theoretically speaking, in order for you to donate your eggs or sell them or whatever, you normally, there's like a checklist of factors that you have to go through. Mm-hmm. One of which I read, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but one of the requirements is to have already a child.
Oh.
To have a child already.
Okay,
because
but that's not,
things can go wrong, and they want you to already have a child, in case something goes wrong and you then can't have kids.
Scary, man.
So
what a crazy risk.
That was also something that I was kind of like, why are you reaching out to me?
You don't have a kid.
I don't have a child. And I mean, if I want to go donate my eggs or sell my eggs, I'll reach out. Yeah, don't reach out to me, ask for my ovaries.
Weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, that also comes back to, again, don't they do research before they reach out? You want to place the product and the service to the right person so it can be even better marketing campaign, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Or even sometimes little simple things, like when certain products, like something very fast food or something that's really not in line with things that I normally do or post, things that are not in line with my lifestyle. Yeah. And they ask me to promote it. I'm like,
girl, that's
dude,
so weird.
Why are you texting me? It's like them texting you for a non-vegan product, which I'm sure happens.
They have. They wanted me to promote sausages. I mean, hello. It was also the time when I was doing a lot of vegan food.
Cooking videos as well.
Videos. Don't you see? What am I going to do with the meat? Literally meat from animals product. It doesn't make sense.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
So I forgot what we were going to talk about today.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something, actually. Is it part of what we're going to talk about today, actually? Because in this previous episodes, you've been talking about my friend this, my friend that. I have a friend here. I just want to know, how many, I know how many close friends do you have, but how many friends do you have? Because I'm a little bit confused. What is it? What defines a friend for you? You know what?
The way you phrase that question makes it sound like I have a lot of friends. Yeah, and I think a lot of people think I have a lot of friends.
Yeah. You don't?
It's going to sound a little bit pathetic. I have 3 friends.
Yeah. That we have already mentioned before.
Yeah. So if I say friend, like a close friend, a best friend, those are the people that I truly spend a lot of time with. And that's
So basically,
3.
The examples that you give us, and you say, for example, my friend did this, my friend. So we can just assume that's either Diana or your other 2 friends, for example, because with Gino Skeptico, I don't know how to say that.
No, because sometimes I may say my friend and talk about someone random.
Oh, so
that is a friend. That is a friend, but the type of friend that you see once every 2 months. Okay. Because I do have a lot of people I know, but I think as you get older in life, I mean, especially you that you moved away. Yeah. You have friends that you kind of grow apart with a little bit, but they're still a friend. And there's only positive feelings between you two, but you don't really prioritize speaking and hanging out because you both work full-time jobs. Yeah. You're in a relationship, they're in a relationship. It just life gets a little bit hectic. So the friends that you really speak to regularly kind of just get less and less in my personal experience.
So for example, in what category, do you have, let's say you have if we're going to label people,
I don't really
best
categorize.
Friends, and then you have close friends, and then you have a friend, and then you have acquaintances, and then you have non-friends, frenemies.
I don't really categorize it like that. I just say everyone is friends, but obviously like my best friends are those three people.
Like in order to become a friend with you, what are the criterias? Like in order for you to consider someone a friend, and not close friends now, like just a friend.
A friend, someone I spend time with.
Okay.
Someone I, spend my energy on.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a friend. Whereas if it's just, an acquaintance from a job or something and it's someone that I don't interact with, that's not really a friend. That's an acquaintance.
Okay.
I don't know. I never really sit and think, oh, this person goes into this category and this person goes into that category. I'm a very feelings-oriented person and I go based off of what I feel.
Yeah, because we all have friends for different scenarios or maybe not all.
How do you categorize?
Girl, I don't know. I mean, also, I don't know. Like, I don't like
How many friends do you have?
Like, first of all, I don't like the term best friend. I get like, ooh, like I get like this when someone's like, you're my best friend. I don't know what it is with me. Honestly, I don't know what's wrong with me. But I'm like, I feel like then they expect something from me, and I don't like the feeling of someone expecting from me. I want it to be like completely understandable and like we are on the same common ground.
But that is what a best friend is, the most understanding person that doesn't expect anything from you.
And you also know, for example, some stories without naming names. Like for me, that's triggering. That goes into my skin.
I got one specific name in my head.
Yes, it's what you know. Yeah, if that's Chrysanthi, our editor, if that sounds, then don't.
I didn't even sound it. I just.
Yeah. Oh, nice too.
You can bleep it.
Yeah, exactly.
I know something you don't.
Or we're going to become that kind of podcast with like bleeps the whole time. But why not?
No,
I think it's fun.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it's
obviously
fun.
We can't say we live in. We're talking about Limassol, Cyprus, Nicosia society.
We cannot name names for people who are not supposed to be heard in a podcast.
Oh, so you have a bit of PTSD from some of those friends.
Girl, I've been traumatized a lot with friends. I had friendships in the past where I considered like close friends and they literally backstabbed me in many ways. So
I just got another scenario in my head for you.
What? About me or you?
You.
Oh shit. What? Girl, I have updated about that one.
No.
But I don't know if I can even say it. I'm going to say it anyway. And I've always been put in like weird comments. Like I always know too much and I don't want to know anything. You know what I mean?
The worst part is, okay, to put some context about one of the situations Olivia's been that we mentioned without giving any context, it's really disturbing when someone does something to you behind your back, backstabs you one way or another, and they think you don't know. And they act like they're still your friend. And you know, but you can't let them know because you're not supposed to know. And you're not supposed to know you found out. And then there's this whole dynamic. See, I don't have situations like that in my life anymore.
Yeah, you've been lucky. I mean, of course
I have had, but I'm not like you. I'm not diplomatic. I'm like,
yeah, man. I want to adapt that more. But also growing up, I wanted to be diplomatic. I almost, you know what?
You avoided conflict.
I'm highly afraid of conflict. That's something I'm working on 100%. But it is also very like, when stuff was happening to me, I prefer to like be neutral and just like, be sad about it for like a day and then just brush it off and pretend like nothing happened, which I don't think is the greatest way, but that's how my way of handling. Anyway, coming back to the friendship part, what were we talking about? About the
how many friends you have,
okay,
and how it freaks you out, the idea of a best friend.
Well,
you've been burnt many times.
Yes, I mean I do have close friends, people that I know. How many are there? I think I think 4.
Wow.
That is not family. Like I don't include family nowadays.
You don't include like Marino.
No, exact Marino, Zina, Naya, my cousins. I have also in Sweden. But these are like the 4 that. And also I have friends also in Sweden, but we don't necessarily talk on messages or WhatsApp, FaceTime, something like that.
No, I have a lot of people that are dear to me that I like. If I were to count the people that are really dear to me, but I don't interact with very, very often, but like. If I had something big going on in my life, I would let them know, even though we haven't spoken maybe in like 2 months.
Yeah,
it's more than 3.
Yeah,
but
like the closest ones are like 3. Yeah,
yeah.
But that's already nice. I mean, that's more than. Nothing.
To be honest, when I was growing up, I struggled a lot with female friendships and with male friendships. We touched upon this in a past episode. So for me, it's not that I don't have friends or I just choose to limit my free time, which how busy we both are. Yeah. You know how hectic my schedule is. Man. You know how hard it is for me to put aside those 2-3 hours to spend with someone. So if I have nothing to gain from that interaction, and I'm not talking about gaining something specific. I'm talking about
part. I understand that.
Feel good feelings. Like, I want something fruitful to come of it. I want to have a good time. I want to switch off mentally. I want to do a fun new experience with you. I want to learn something from you. If I have nothing of value in those 3 hours that I'm going to spend with you, and you're just going to sit and gossip or sit and complain, I don't want it.
You know, that's a really good point, because this is something I've been noticing a lot when coming to Cyprus especially, or I think this is everywhere. But I often happen to be in situations where I meet up with friends and I'm the one sitting and listening the whole time. And I sit and listen. So I become drained. And you know how I am when I just listen.
You get drained very easily.
I get drained and then I start to be like I literally switch off. And then I'm like, shit, I need to focus. It's not that I'm not interested, but if you just talk and you don't ask any questions back, but in questions that you're actually interested in what I have to say. Like, that for me was like one of the biggest shocks when I came back to Cyprus.
I remember how disappointed you were when you came back from Mexico specifically, and you were there for 6 months. And I asked you, oh my God, how was it? How was the food? How were the beaches? And you're like, Maria, oh my God, you're the first person that asked me.
Yeah, man, nobody asked me.
And you were so upset about it.
But you know, it's like, it's not like I'm gonna expect everyone to, be fully on me.
No, of course not.
I almost always end up to be the one listening. And I sometimes I just also want to be listened to, like I also want to share. So I tend to become more close as a character in that sense, which is something, of course, I have Ramon to speak about that, because he's also in the same situation a little bit in many ways. So yeah, I forgot again what the question was. I could talk on for a long time about just this specific topic, because going outside of the bubble of Cyprus, and when life here is so hectic, everyone has, of course, to be honest, it's quite weird that it's so hectic here, because we're an island and it is like also slow life, but also not. Yeah. Confusing anyway. And then I move and suddenly you're alone. And then you start to see everything from like a different optics perspective.
Because I think when something small comes up in Cyprus,
everyone will know.
Because our circles are so small and tightly connected and knit, and everyone knows everyone and everyone is friends with everyone. So for example, let's take me and you. We have a disagreement.
Yeah.
And we don't deal with it properly, and you start going and talking shit about me to your friends. Yeah. I start talking shit to my friends, and we tend to have some mutual friends.
Yeah. And
so then that mutual friend is also stuck in the middle, and it just, something that could have been easily resolved between us blows up out of proportion and suddenly involves so many other people.
So it comes back basically to, they're also scared of conflict. Because if for example, you're
not necessarily scared of conflict, I think some people don't know how to deal with conflict.
Okay, that's also a good point. Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know how to control their anger.
And also people can take things like personally and don't think of good intentions and just assume that you want something bad of the other person instead of like it comes from a good heart. Yeah. So there's a lot of miscommunications happening also with what you just said.
So that brings me to our next point. How do you deal with conflict? I mean, you tend to avoid conflict, but...
Not anymore. Yeah. Not anymore at all. Like in the past, 100%.
You still do though. You stall. You avoid.
No, it's not avoiding. It's more about me trying to process. Am I being over dramatic, or is it actually how I'm feeling? That's why I can tend to take days or weeks in order just to process, because also we are very busy in our schedule. We have lots of things to do, reality. So it comes in our daily life, or change, for example, change of countries. And then suddenly I also have to think of the conflict. I'm like, oh shit, okay, I actually have to take time to think about it, to process my thoughts. And then I can reach out. Because for example, I cannot be that direct right away, because if I will respond right away, let's say you do something that I don't like at all. If I say it right away, respond directly right away, most probably coming from my mouth, it would sound way worse than what I intended to. So that's, and that would be just because it's a reaction, So sometimes I just need to take it back, think about it. Was it actually that bad in my head as it was, So that's, I think nowadays, I wish, this is my ideal. I wish to be able to be calm in any moment. So for example, we have an argue that I can just be calm, zen, and not be heated up, not be triggered. Like that's my ultimate goal. Because then I think I would be able to handle conflicts way better if I'm already calm myself. So that's my goal. So at this moment, you asked me like, how do I deal with it? I didn't have that many scenarios, to be honest.
Okay, we can use our personal example.
Yeah.
Me and you had a disagreement recently.
Yeah.
And we it wasn't really a disagreement. It was just a build-up of tension over misunderstandings. And we both kind of like, because we got really busy, kind of let it slide and let it go and ignored it for a while.
Yeah.
And then when we both found some free time and calmed down and toned down, we spoke on the phone and we just spoke through and, oh, you reacted that way and I didn't like it. And then the other person would say, oh, I reacted this way because I felt this way.
Yeah.
And we would explain each other's reactions to each other.
Yeah.
And we would explain how the other person's reactions came across. And we really communicated our feelings and our perspective because it was very different. And then we came to an honest understanding and I have no problem apologizing.
No, and
neither do you.
And not a lot of people has that. That's why I think it's so valuable that you can do it and I can do it also.
Because not necessarily having the intention to offend someone, maybe something really small you did came across as inconsiderate.
Yeah.
If I do that, I have no problem to be called out, not really called out. I don't have a problem with you pointing that out. And I'll be like, I'm really sorry. That is not what I meant. That is not what I wanted. I'm really sorry I made you feel that way.
Yeah.
And that is a nice thing to say. And it's okay. Like, I don't understand the whole ego thing in apologizing. If I do something wrong.
It's really hard to let go of your ego. It's like the pride and ego is something.
Especially in romantic relationships.
Yeah, man. But also like in friendship too. Because I have a lot of ego. Or at least I had a lot of ego inside of me. And like,
I think we all have understood how petty I am.
Yeah, I mean, in different ways. Yeah, but it's like really hard to let it go. So, for example, if let's say you say something, or no, let's say I say something bad, and you call me off, I would of course react. Oh shit, I'm sorry. You know, I would not be like, no, I'm not, because in the past I would be defensive.
Deflective and defensive, and you're like, that's not what I said. That's not what I did. Yeah. I'm not telling you what you said and what you did. I'm telling you how you made me feel.
Exactly.
And you need to validate that. And then we need to talk about it. And then you can say what you actually meant and I can validate that as well. Yeah. And there needs to be like this mutual understanding.
Bravo. Yeah.
And I think like I was very proud of the way we handled ourselves, even though it was not something huge. Yeah. But in general in life, I'm more of a firecracker than you are. So for me, as soon as I get a little bit offended, I get petty and I snap back at people. But I also do know how to reflect and I work on that. It's something, it's like a work in progress. We're all working in progress. I can reflect and then realize and then explain myself and explain your feelings and the whole situation and how it came across. And then if you're able to apologize and communicate in this way, I think almost anything can be resolved.
Yeah, honestly, like if we take it down in like steps, like letting go of our ego. And the second one is understanding that it has good intention, because you're friends for a reason, right?
Of course.
And the third one is to be able to say sorry.
Yes.
So like and you can do all those things, and that's very, very good. And I can do. Now, I want to believe from today, I can do also all these things. But it's a work in process. And if you're not aware, because a lot of people are not even aware that, you know, that the person has good intentions. It's not meant to hurt you. And if it does, maybe the person has like a lot of hectic stuff going on. Like if you cannot put yourself in the other person's shoe, then like, what are you doing with your life? A little bit.
Yeah. And I think in order for you to be able to understand, it's really important to have a good communicator across you. It takes two to tango. Ooh. Like if one person is really good with resolving conflicts and the other one isn't, it still might not really work out, because it's really hard to balance that dynamic out.
And that's also where I have trouble in friendships. Yeah. In many ways.
Do you think Ramon helped you to become a better...
Yes. I think he is the main reason why I now can be like better in conflicts. You know, in the beginning of our relationship, or, you know, not relationship, in our talking time or dating, whatever, we had an argue, I would never forget it, in Les Maisons when he was staying in an apartment. And you know when you get so annoyed, I got annoyed for some reason. I don't even remember what it was. But you know when you get annoyed and it goes into your body and you just like don't want to let go of the annoyedness? That's a kind of how I was. And he told me straight to face, it was like after like 2 months that we knew each other, Olivia, do you want to feel like this? Do you want to feel the way you're doing now? And I'm just sitting there, I'm like...
Like a child.
Like literally like a child. I was getting confronted, man, like crazy.
Oh, he called you out.
Yes. I felt so uncomfortable because I'm like, I knew he was right. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna be stubborn. He's like, there's no point. Like, you know that I have good intentions, he said. And you know that you have good intentions. So why is it that you're feeling this way? Do you want to continue like that? And after that conversation, things changed because I got confronted. Honestly, because I had the toxicity in my mind that I'm not going to be like, no, I'm going to prove him a point of my stubbornness, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, he has helped me like crazy since then. Honestly, I mean, he is the reason I can give him the golden hat and just...
Yeah, and I think a lot of people like tend to want to teach the other person like a lesson or punish them in a way.
Yes, that was me, girl.
Which is so ridiculous. Like... And I don't know why a lot of people, like, you know that video we saw on TikTok that's like, when I mean yes, I mean yes. And when I mean no, I mean no. But when I mean no, I also mean yes. And when I say yes, I also mean no as a woman.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can never really know. A yes, maybe a no, maybe a maybe and a no.
I also think it's our responsibility to like we can laugh as much because that's how most people are, I can imagine. But if we can just say what we actually mean without being scared how the other person's going to take it, that would already be, boom, the door slammed there. It would already be so much more helpful.
I think for me, I mean, we all do that sometimes and don't say fully what we mean. Because sometimes you don't want to ask for certain things. You want to just, especially in a romantic relationship, like I don't want to tell you what to do and paint you a painting of what you need to do. Like I want you to do it because you want to do it.
Yeah, but also don't you feel...
And it's the same in friendships sometimes. Like I don't want to tell you, like for example, what you were saying earlier. You don't want to tell people, why aren't you asking me questions about Mexico? Like... Yeah, it means you don't want to know. If you're not going to do it yourself, I don't want you to do it.
Yeah, I know. But also like I also feel... I want to give them second like chances.
Yeah, of course.
Or third chances, fourth chances, or whatever. So maybe they're just not aware. Maybe it's something that they never thought of.
But to be honest, when it comes to like these little things of like simple day-to-day things, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But when it comes to something bigger and something that really made me feel a strong way, then I won't like talking codes and make you decode it. I will be very straightforward and yes will be yes and no will be no.
I appreciate that so much more. The directness. Like I wanted to be straight to the point. You know, just tell me. Like I prefer it than just like to try to read it, read between the lines.
And a lot of the times people do things without thinking. And obviously when you do something without thinking and you don't realize the effect it had on the other person or like the reaction, you're not going to sit and dwell on it. So you might forget about it. Whereas if that stood out to you, you're going to remember it. And then you're going to be trying to hint at it. And I may not even remember it because it was done unintentionally. So it's really important to be straightforward and be like, listen, this, and this bothered me. I didn't like the way you said this. I didn't like your tone of voice. I didn't like the language you used. You need to be very specific. But in order to be so specific, you need to understand yourself.
Yeah.
So you need to understand, wait, what exactly bothered me?
Yeah, you know, it's a good point. You know what I started to do after our little argument, whatever we can call it. I after that, I started to write down things because I tend to forget exactly what it is that triggered me or whatever.
You didn't tell me that.
No, but now I started to write down things like in general, like, so I remember, like, for example, if me and Ramon's going to have a fight, whatever, and I want to remember it, I write it down now in my notes because it's otherwise gone. And I don't remember how it feels.
To be completely honest, in romantic relationships, I've always told my partners I have a rule.
Okay, what kind of rule?
We cannot go to bed angry at each other.
Oh, that's a really good one.
I don't want to give it that day, that week to calm down. I do not want to go to bed angry.
Was it always like that?
We need to, for me, yes, I'm very direct. But I have dated people who are not and who need time to process. So as a person who wants to deal with it in the moment, it's really difficult to be with someone who needs time to process. And I think it's really important not to let things pile up and blow out of proportion. I think when you deal with something the moment it's happening, maybe not the same exact instant, but the same day, as soon as you calm down a little bit, I think it helps not make it a bigger deal than it is.
No, I agree. By the way, speaking of that, what you said is, since I met Ramon, that's another thing he changed with me. I was the kind of person who could be like mad for days. And like, because other person let me sleep on it. Now I don't. I also cannot. So it would be horrible if me and Ramon would break up for whatever reason. I have to go through the process, because he has taught me literally, we never go to bed angry at each other. Then we will be up until 2 o'clock in the morning, for example, and just talk it through at some point. So it's very handy.
And especially, you know, when you're with your close friends and your romantic partners, I think when it's something even tiny that you don't think is a big deal and it bothers you, you should still mention it. You shouldn't make it a big deal, but you should be like, oh, the way you did that, I didn't like that. And explain why. Because then you don't give yourselves the opportunity to let things pile up.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Do you get stressed, by the way, if I film you at the same time as you're going to talk about something?
Not really, to be honest. I'm one of those people that is very
comfortable in front of the camera, microphone, everything.
I don't even notice it anymore, because I've had so many situations.
You had the spotlight in front of you.
No, it's not about the spotlight. I have had so many situations from a young age shooting in really ridiculous, like extravagant outfits in the middle of the street with like 50 people staring at me. Point. So you kind of become desensitized. Also, I used to, like, after photo shoots with crazy makeup, like walk into the mall to get stuff done, because I was in Nicosia, so I was like taking advantage, and people would stare and people would look, and I genuinely don't care.
Oh wow, you're looking in the camera now.
Yeah, obviously. Wow. And I can look into that camera and this camera, and I'm very like comfortable.
Crazy on your face now. It looks so pretty. So pretty. Okay.
So for me, it's like
easy,
not a thing.
Yeah,
I don't care. So yeah, to wrap it up, I think it's really important to learn how to deal with conflicts in all aspects of life, with your family, with your friendships, with your romantic relationships. It really will make your life easier. And the faster you learn to resolve your own feelings and to communicate, and then to like properly close an issue. Because also if you leave it resolved and then stuff keeps adding on to it,
then it'll become an explosion.
Yeah. So you need to learn to properly resolve your problems, and then it will make you more at peace in general in life. Because I think when we're angry at situations and stuff, we become frustrated overall.
Yeah. And like I tend to give like silent second chances in my head.
Yeah, which is really bad.
That's not the greatest thing to do. It's better to just say right away. That's going to be a challenge for me from now on. I'm going to be even better at conflict. I don't want to have fear of conflict.
Yeah.
That's going to be my next goal. So next season or whatever, I'm going to be a new person, Maria.
Good for you.
Do you have a quote of the week?
No.
I have one that fits with what we just been talking about.
Okay.
Wait, where did I put it? If you don't want their life, don't take their advice.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, man. That is...
I love that. And oh my God, let's talk about, based on that quote, how much do you hate unwarranted advice?
It goes into my body. I cannot handle it. Like I cannot. Like I'm like, why are you giving me advice about something that you don't even do it yourself?
It's something that we didn't even talk about. No. Like you just come randomly give me like random life advice.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone has always advice to give, opinions, but I'm like, I didn't ask for it. What about you? How do you take it when someone gives you advice?
I try to cut it off, but it doesn't always work. People are persistent and annoying.
How do you cut it off? Like, what do you say?
Like, let's say you try to start talking to me and I'm just like, Like I'm very evident in my face.
You just don't give any more emotion to it.
Don't continue the conversation. I just cut it off in like smooth ways. Also, I have been recently told that I'm very transparent.
Okay, on your facials. Okay, expressions. Yes, you are very expression.
A really good friend of mine told me that I'm very transparent.
And?
Like if I do not like someone or something that is said,
you can tell.
I can't hide it. Not anymore. I used to be more diplomatic and easygoing. With age, I just don't have patience. I can't fake feelings. I don't want to.
It's more freedom to be able to be like that.
I don't want to. Yeah. If you're like talking about something stupid, I'm going to look at you like you're talking about something stupid.
That's a good point.
You know?
But I think that's a good way to do it.
I'm just honestly myself and I react honestly to situations.
It's a good point.
It's not always a good thing. Sometimes it's better to keep your reactions to yourself and just let it slide.
Honestly, I appreciate it when someone can just say directly if they don't like something, or at least if I can tell, you know, like, oh, okay, this girl is just not interested. Or
it's really difficult for me to listen to something that I don't want to listen to.
Or like when you're just not interested also. But yes, it also comes with politeness, you know. And nowadays, the past like year or so, I'm speaking about Ramon so much. Excuse me. But
you guys live together.
Yeah.
You've been dating for so many years, almost 4.
Yeah, no, crazy. But
it's normal.
You know that nowadays he says, "I'm gonna give you an honest advice if that's okay." So he even asked me if he can give me.
He did say that. And the other day when we were sitting in the studio and she came up to us, she was like, "Can I give you some unasked for advice?" And I was like, "Oh, that's so cute."
I love when they do that. That's for me. It's like, yes, you can give me the unasked because you're even asking if you can give it, not just like straight on. You know what I think you should do? You should do this and this and this. Or why don't you? I'm like, oh.
No, when they're like, "Can I give you my peace of mind? Can I give you my opinion?"
That's perfect. It's all in the end by changing the words and the sentence of it. Clever.
So then it's not really the advice itself that's bothering you. It's people's approach.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
And also it has been times when I've said like, no, I don't want your advice. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
You've managed to say that?
Yes. I'm becoming way better at that.
Proud of you.
Yeah. Because it's getting into, you know, at some point when you're just like, I cannot anymore. Like it comes to a limit. Yeah. When it comes to a limit, then I cannot anymore. I just brush it off. Not brush it off, cut it off also.
No, it's really funny though, because like my really close friends, they will always give me advice, but also we give each other advice mostly when we ask for it or when we see really a red flag. Like, I don't want to butt into your relationship too much, or it's sometimes it's not your place to comment too much because you don't know how things are going to go. And if the other person doesn't ask, sometimes it's better to also like, let's just not talk about the other end. Let's talk about us giving advice. Sometimes when you're not asked, it's better to just stay silent.
Also, it depends like what kind of advice it is. Is it going to be something that you have no solution for? Or are you you're just giving your opinion, or are you giving also an opinion and a solution, for example? Or is it coming with good intentions? I think it has like
for example, if you have a problem with Ramon and you come up to me and you rant.
Yeah.
Unless you ask me for what to do with the situation, sometimes I'll just position myself in a place that's just there to listen to you rant and let it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? In that sense.
You know, I saw a video actually of psychologists who said that you can ask the person who's ranting, let's say, I can either ask you, do you want a listening ear, or do you want to also have me like engage in the conversation? I think that was really clever.
It is. Yeah, because sometimes people just need a listening ear.
Exactly. They just want to rant and not have any, and I've been in that situation many times. I just want to talk it out, you know?
And also, to be completely honest with you, sometimes I have been in situations where like, I don't know what the right advice is.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have that responsibility of me of like telling you what to do with your life and your relationship. So for example, if you come and you complain to me about an issue you have with your boyfriend, I know 5% of the problem. There might be like another 55 underlying issues, and only you know what goes on in your everyday day-to-day life. I don't know Ramon the way you know him. I may judge his reaction really differently than you will, because only you have that full picture of who he is. You know him in such a different way than I do. So my advice may not be so valuable.
Yeah, and you will only hear my version also, not even his version.
It's easier for me to make wrong assumptions.
Yeah. Because I will only rant about the bad stuff that just happened because I'm in the heat of the fire. So yeah, it's a good point.
It's also a very one-sided version of the story. Obviously, when your friend complains to you about something, they complain from their perspective. And I mean, you're never always right.
No.
There's no such thing. So, you know, when you hear both sides of the story, then it's easier to give an opinion. But I also don't think it's a third person's place to participate in like an argument.
Yeah.
Even between friends, between family, between anything.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was going to say it's a good point. I need to find something else. Give me another
I agree.
Something else. I agree. A good point. I've been using a lot of something else.
Bless.
Another
Fair
one.
enough.
Fair enough.
I also use that a
Yes,
lot.
another one.
I say fair enough.
I need to Google like what else can I say instead of fair enough, good point, and I mean I agree with you, so I'm gonna say I agree with you again. Anyway.
Oh my God! Yeah, yes,
Yes,
queen. This is how you know how old we are because we're trying too cool to like implement lingo.
Yeah, true. Oh my God, I need to extend my vocabulary. Okay, if I'm gonna keep up with the podcast.
Yeah. So,
do you have a recommendation of this week?
okay, let's start simple.
Okay. Well,
I posted a TikTok recently of us two having a little something. And my recommendation of the week is to try acai bowls at Enso.
oh yes, they're so good.
Acai is like my go-to food.
Yeah.
I love making it as well. But an acai bowl for brunch, that's my recommendation of the week.
And the ladies that are working are so kind also.
Yeah, the whole restaurant is vegan.
Exactly.
It's plant-based.
It's even
gluten-free.
refined sugar-free also.
Yes. Everything is very healthy. So my recommendation of the week, if you're in Limassol, is to try the food. It's
Their acai bowls are really good.
I'm there. You might bump into me.
Yeah.
I'm
Most
there like every day.
that's I even saw you one time there randomly.
Yeah.
Was it Ramon who saw you like 3-4 years ago?
You and Ramon, we bumped into each other. And once when he was alone, but back when you guys were living in Limassol, the good old days.
4 years ago.
When I had easier access to you.
Oh, cute. That's a good recommendation. And
There
I
you
think
go.
it's time for us to wrap it up
I think so too.
and say goodbye.
And see you in the next one.
And follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok, and leave us a comment and send us messages. And thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.